Welcome to the October version of Stoic Sparks. Today I'm fortunate to have on the program Vlatka Hlupic, who has just finished writing the Management Shift book. Now, Vlatka is a lot of persons wrapped into one. She's a remarkable woman. She's a full-time professor. She's the CEO of the Drucker Society out of London. She's a consultant. She's a coach. She bridges all of the academia and practice into one person who's doing an awful lot on the ground to change how companies work with the world of work, shall we say. So I'm going to turn it over to Vlatka.
Thank you, Donna. I'm delighted to be part of this event today and have this opportunity to tell everyone a bit more about my latest book, The Management Shift, which is going to be published next week by Palgrave Macmillan. The Management Shift book is about the why, the what, and the how of the management shift, which is a shift in individual mindset and organizational cultures to the new levels of thinking and performing. And we do need this shift because business as usual is no longer an option. If we look at the reasons why we have to shift to the new level of management and corporate governance, it is apparent that we have a problem. There is a lot of data in Chapter 1 showing that we have to manage our organizations in different ways if we want to achieve better innovation, engagement, performance. So, for example, global data on engagement show that only 13% of people are engaged fully at their work. Only 25% of people are passionate about the work that they do. And in the last 50 years, the average life expectancy of large corporations and performance have declined by 75%. And one of the key reasons for these problems that we have are outdated leadership practices based on traditional hierarchical command and control mindsets where people are viewed no more than a resource. And it's all about bureaucratic organization, standardization, specialization. And this worked in the production economy where efficiency was the key. But these approaches are very detrimental for innovation, engagement, and resilience, which are the key ingredients for success of modern organizations. So a solution to this problem is so-called emergent leadership, which is a leadership based on collaboration, transparency, meritocracy, purpose, passion for work, community, where authority is distributed and decisions are made on the basis of knowledge rather than a formal position in an organizational hierarchy. So this is the why of the management shift. I would like to mention that many other scholars are looking into the why and the what of the management shift, but the reasons and the advice for on how to do this in practice is very rare, and this is one of the contributions for this book. So I'm now going to talk about the what, and many management scholars have researched the what of the new management paradigm, and this model is my contribution to this research. I developed this model on the basis of extensive research in individual and organizational development, and I researched areas such as organizational behavior, neuroscience, person development, and so on. And this model shows developmental levels for individuals and corresponding organizational culture. And each level is characterized by specific mindset, beliefs, actions, emotions, language used, leaders' behavior, and organizational outcomes. And for example, at level 1, a dominant mindset is lifeless. The corresponding organizational culture is apathetic, and not much gets done. Culture is based on fear, and employees are isolated and disengaged. And hopefully not many companies would operate at this level. And then at level 2, the individual mindset is reluctant, the culture is stagnating, and people do a minimum they can get away with. Leadership is autocratic, there is blame culture, and employees feel overwhelmed. And there are some companies operating at this level these days. And then at level 3, the mindset is controlled and organizational culture is orderly. Leadership style is based on traditional command and control, and employees are micromanaged and they do what they're told to do. And then between level 3 and level 4, a magic happens when a shift happens to between level 3 to level 4. A fundamental change in performance and engagement happens at level 4. A dominant mindset is enthusiastic and culture is collaborative. There is a very strong teamwork ethos, and integrity and passion and purpose, transparency, they are all embedded in this level. And employees at level 4 can occasionally reach level 5, where mindset becomes limitless and culture unbounded, and anything seems to be possible to achieve at that level. The organizational example for level 5 are so-called skunkworks teams, where a group of people work on a project which is outside usual rules of organizational bureaucracies, and often they work at a different geographical location. Example for this is Google X Lab, which is a semi-secret facilities where great inventions happen, such as Google Glass or driverless cars. So people at levels 4 and 5 pursue their passion and purpose, and then the success follows them. And organizations at levels 4 and 5 focus on people and purpose instead of short-term profit maximization, and then the success and growth follow them. And I've been using this 5-level model for some time, for years, and I've been coaching C-level executives and helping them to shift between levels 3 and 4. And then I realized helping one person at a time to shift was not good enough and not fast enough for me. I wanted to figure out how I can help entire organization to shift to level 4, and how I can help many organizations to shift at the same time. So this is when I started working on the how, and I went back to my research and looked into thousands of references, hundreds of case studies and interviews, and I created a framework with about 150 factors that drive value creation, innovation, and engagement in organizations. And I grouped this framework into 6 key areas. And if you can move to the next slide, please, Donna. This is how the 6-box leadership model was created. I call this model organizational body scan because organizations have to be managed as living organisms holistically. And I developed an online diagnostic tool which shows hidden strengths and weaknesses in those 6 areas. The culture, which looks into what kind of culture organization has, relationships, how well people work together in a team, individuals, what sort of mindset, skills, and attitude employees have, strategy, how it is developed and executed, systems, how the work gets done, and resources. And I have used this model with more than 20 organizations worldwide, including the UK government, FTSE 100 companies, National Health Service, and so on. And I would work with clients that once we have the results of the scan, we would produce a 1-year action plan with a list of individual and organizational actions to be taken to address any developmental opportunities and to leverage strengths. So this is my contribution to the management shift with this tool, which is the how part of the shift. I would also like to mention that shifting up the levels is incredibly important because research in neuroscience shows that we are like energy masts. We emit with our thoughts and emotions energy, which affects electromagnetic fields around our hearts and around us as well. So with our emotions, we can impact people around us, and this spreads like a ripple and shifts entire organizational culture, and the cultures of organization will then have an impact on society. So each individual has a lot of power, and one should never underestimate the power of thoughts and emotions and the words that we use. And I would like to illustrate this with the beautiful quote from Robert Kennedy, which shows the power of those ripples and thoughts. So he said that each time a person stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others, they send forth a tiny ripple of hope. These ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. So in the final chapter of my book, which is a call for action, I talk about the importance of creating these ripples, and I also hope that when people come across this book or my talks, would be inspired to take an action, because a sincere desire to make a difference for individuals and organizations has a huge power to elevate and to restore and to change individuals and organizations to the new level of thinking and performing. And this will lead to creating this world as a better place.
Thank you very much. I love the body scan metaphor, because that is companies are organized organisms. They are an ecosystem, whether it's created intentionally or accidentally. More information, where do people go?
They can go on the website, themanagementshift.com. At the moment, it's a holding website, but sometime next week it will go live, and then people can get a free copy of Chapter 1 of the book and get a lot of more information, or they can contact me directly with contact details that are provided there. Excellent.
Thank you very much for joining the show Sparks for October of 2014. Next month's program, I don't know what it's going to be yet, but stay tuned. Every Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we run this program. It runs about 15 minutes. It's an executive brief. So thank you, Vlatka, for joining us today. And thank you for sharing the details of the management shift. I know you're going to be out there a lot in the next month, so everybody can keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the listeners and viewers for joining us. We'll see you next month.